Hey guys, Andrew here. Welcome to another car show video. Today we're checking out the car show at the Winthrop Farm City Fun Fest, small town of Winthrop, Minnesota. It's one of those small town get-together things with car shows, food, parades, carnivals, all sorts of stuff. So stick around and check it out. So right off the bat here, we got a nice looking El Camino. It did have a Malibu badge on it, but I'm not too familiar with the Malibu El Camino. It may just be a trim level, but it was a really nice El Camino regardless. Love the black, nice looking wheels, very clean. And then right over here next to it, we got a really nice looking Ford F100. And then over here, we got a really sharp looking 68 Firebird. Really nice color. It was almost a purple in color. Had the side pipes. It sounded really mean coming in. Had the 4-speed manual transmission. Kind of hard to tell in the video, but it is a 4-speed. Just a gorgeous looking 68. Not a huge fan of the black wheels, but hey, it looked really nice. It was a great looking car. And then right here my wife is pointing out that it still had the original Pontiac logo on it. Very clean, very well maintained. I even love the hood scoops on it. And then you see my wife and daughter enjoy the show. Right over here next to this beautiful 56 Bel Air. Very well done. I don't believe it was all original, but either way it was very clean, very well kept. It may have even been restored. It's got some nice American Racing torque thrust wheels on it. Just a beautiful 56. This one even had a manual transmission, and I believe it was a 5-speed. So odds are this was much more of a custom than even a restoration. But either way, just a sharp looking car. I do love the two-tone paint jobs on these cars. And then over here we've got another 56 Bel Air. Beautiful sunrise yellow paint job. I think that's the color they call it. Nice looking V8 under the hood. Had a manual transmission behind it. More AR torque thrust wheels. Just beautiful. I almost prefer the yellow to the red personally, but either way they were both just gorgeous cars. Now this purple truck over here, I'm not 100% sure what it was. There was a lot of people standing in front of it, so I didn't want to interrupt their conversation. And right here we got a nice looking 47 Chevy. Two-tone color, black on red. Love it. You had Krager wheels on this one as well. Very sharp. This one here was a nice looking 54 Bel Air. Had the American Racing style wheels on it. This one was kind of surprising because it actually has a very interesting motor in it. Check it out. Now if you look at it really close, that is not a 54 engine. That is actually out of an 88 Camaro IROC, he said. It's kind of interesting because he told me that with the air conditioner running and everything, he was getting about 23 to 25 miles to the gallon, which is actually pretty impressive for an engine of that generation. Now here we got a nice looking 49 Chevy pickup. More AR style wheels on it. This is actually owned by the same guy who had that 54. And he said it actually has the same style motor in it out of an 88, 89 Camaro. The 2-port 350 V8. Then over here we got a 39 Chevy. I always got a kick out of those noses. Not sure why they designed it that way, but still a beautiful car. Nice looking paint job. Then over here we got a 72 Nova SS 350. I love the color on this one. Then over here we got a late 60s Charger. There was no sign on this one, so I can't be 100% sure if it's a 68 or a 69. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably a 69, and sure shares the body lines with it. Wasn't a big fan of the paint job, but hey, it fit the car very well, and from what I was told, these cars actually, a lot of these paint jobs, like in this color, were original. And then over here we got a 77 Trans Am. Very beautiful car. I've always loved these cars in either black or dark blue, but the white with the blue emblems really set this one off. And over here we got a early 70s Camaro. This was the Z28. Very sharp looking car. Again, American racing style wheels on it. The orange on the black. Looks just sharp. I'm not sure what it is about this generation of Camaros, this particular one, but I've always loved the front end design. That big wide mouth and that chrome grille. Just beautiful. And over here we got a nice looking little Ford 500 coupe. I don't believe I caught the year on this one. Still a nice looking car. And then over here we got a nice looking 60s Mustang. Love the black on this one. Very sharp. This one over here was an old Chrysler LeBaron. I did not catch the year on it, but if I had to venture a guess, I would say maybe an early 80s. Then over here, we got probably a late 80s Dodge. Not 100% sure on the year, and I don't recall which engine was in this one. Then over here, we've got a nice looking Trans Am. This one was actually an anniversary edition. Very beautiful. Had the white paint job, blue stripes, even had the 6-speed manual in it. It also had blue wheels on it, which was kind of an interesting feature. I did ask the guy if it came like that, and he said the entire car is all original. Just a gorgeous Trans Am. And over here we got a nice late model 5.0. I've never been a big Ford fan, but I gotta admit that more and more they're really growing on me, and these Mustangs just look sharp. Then over here we got a 66 Chevy Impala station wagon. Don't see too many wagons around at the car shows. Most of the time you get the more rare variants. And over here we got a nice looking Chevy pickup. Late 70s if I had to guess. I could be wrong. And here we got a nice clean little Ford Maverick. Another late gen Mustang. Sharp looking car. Right here we got a 1952 Studebaker. Don't see a lot of those either. And then of course over here we got a nice looking little Ford Falcon. My wife loves the Ford Falcons. I didn't catch what year or kind of car this was. Didn't really catch my eye. I mean, nice looking car. And I was trying to get as much footage as possible. And this one over here is gorgeous sunrise yellow, or sunfire yellow I think it may have been called at the time. This is a 69 Chevy sedan delivery. This one was one of the first style of panel truck, I think. More for delivery of products. It has a nice wooden bed in the back. I love the color though. It's just, I don't know what it is about yellow on certain vehicles. It's just beautiful. And you can see it's got all hardwood paneling in the back there. Nicely done. Very beautiful vehicle. And then here we got a 70 Chevelle SS 396. This one was just nice, just sharp. Not a huge fan of the color, kind of dull to me, but beautiful car nonetheless. Here we got a 63 Bonneville. Looks a lot like the old GTOs of that area, but they're both Pontiacs, so they're going to share some similarities. Beautiful car regardless. And over here we got an old Chevy panel truck. I'm not sure if this was the Suburban variety or not, and I didn't quite catch the year on it. Looks like a mid-50s. Over here we got a nice looking 70 Impala 350. I'm not too familiar with the designs of these particular Impalas, but I did like the color. And then over here we got an early 70s Camaro. I want to say this one was a 73, maybe even a 74. I've always loved the front end designs on these. I'm not sure why. And then over here we got a 1969 Ford. This one was the Ford XL. Again, I'm not super familiar with these particular cars. Did have a nice looking paint job though. And then here we got a 36 Ford. The hood designs on these was always really cool. And then over here we got a late 60s Nova SS. Nice maroon color on this one. Didn't quite catch the exact year. Very nice car though. And then here we got another 30s coupe. This one I did not catch the exact year or make and model on it. But still sharp looking. And then over here we got a 71 Chevelle SS. Very nice car. The paint job, I don't know, leaves a bit to be desired, but otherwise, I mean, it's still a great looking car, and Chevelle is obviously a classic muscle car. And then over here we got a beautiful 69 Chevelle. Love the deep red on this one. Just very nicely done. I don't know what it is about red on the Chevelles, it just works. Absolutely gorgeous car. Then over here we got a 70s Corvette Stingray. Nice red interior, beautiful red paint job. Looks like it's all original. Can't be 100% sure on that. Either way, it's one of my favorite generations of Corvette. I love the lines on these. This car over here is kind of interesting. It's an old Ford Falcon, but check this out. The guy shoehorned a Coyote 5.0 engine in there. And I'm not sure if it was the entire drivetrain or just the engine, but he even had the 6-speed manual in there from the new Mustangs. Just very well done. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'd classify this as a custom or a resto mod, but either way, it's not something you see every day. Really cool. And then over here we got a nice Dodge Coronet 500 convertible. Again, red on these cars just looks good. I'm not sure why. There's just something about how it matches up with the car. Then over here we got a nice looking set of Plymouths. One of them was a station wagon, another one was a coupe. Good looking couple of cars. Then over here we got an early to mid 60s, I believe, Dodge Charger. Don't see too many of these very often. Another Ford Coupe over here. Good looking car. He's got the Thrush logo sticker on there. And we got another Ford over here. Not bad. Needs a little work. Then over here we got a 2007 Monte Carlo SS. I believe this was the generation they had that 300 horsepower front-wheel drive V8 in it. Always wanted to have one of these and do a manual swap. That would be awesome. And over here we got a good-looking Ford F100. Don't see too many of these, and I've never seen one in this color before either. Good-looking truck though. And over here we got a nice looking Thunderbird drop top. I like the front end on these. Very good looking car. Then we got a C5 Corvette. Nothing too fancy with these C5s, although he did have the Z06 wheels on it. Really good looking. I love the wheels on those cars. And over here we got a mid-2000s Mustang. I believe this one was a 2003, if not a 2004. You don't see too many of them with this particular design, with that roll bar there. Then over here we have a Hurst Olds. This one actually did have the lightning shifters in the middle. It's kind of hard to see, but they have the 3 shifters. It's kind of interesting how they work. Never got a chance to drive one of these, but I have ridden in one a few times, and they're quick. This one's got a beautiful black paint job with red trim on it. I do like the two-tone, black on top, gray on the bottom. Then over here we got a Buick Grand National. Now I don't think this was the GNX, but it was the Grand National. Turbo, 3.8 liter V6. All of these came in black. If you ever see a Buick Grand National that's a different color, then it was repainted, because these cars only came in black from the factory. And over here we got a nice looking Corvette. I want to say this was a 55. Not 100% sure. It may even be a 57 Corvette. Either way, these cars are very beautiful. Not a fan of the color on this one, but it works. And then over here we had a Z28 convertible. I believe this was in mid-80s. I don't recall the exact year. Not a bad looking car. The interior left a lot to be desired. Another Dodge over here, Plymouth. I believe this was a Plymouth Roadrunner. Yep, Plymouth Roadrunner. Another Ford pickup over here. This one was interesting, but I did not catch what it was. And I'm not 100% sure, so let me know if you know. Then we got a nice Chevy C10 over here. This one sounded really mean when he came in. Nice side pipes on it. Looks like he was still working on it, but otherwise it looked really good. And we got an old one here. I believe this was a Model A. Another little hot rod here. Here we got a nice looking Challenger RT. This one I believe had the 446 pack in it. I'm not a huge fan of the orange color on these cars, but it does look nice. Another Challenger over here. This was a 71. I like the yellow better than I like the orange, to be honest, but that's just me. And over here we got a nice looking 60s Impala. These cars always look good in white. Don't know why. They just did. And we got a Trans Am over here. This was the WS6 package. Not a huge fan of the black on lime green, but hey, it was still a nice car. Then we got a 57 Bel Air sedan right here. I did like the deep blue in this one. Very nice. And this was a mid-2000s Mustang. This one I believe was a 2006. Maybe even a 2007, but that particular generation. Another Challenger over here. This was a newer Challenger. This was the new 383 Hemi. Not bad. And here we have my family's 76 Eldorado. Actually belongs to my mother. She inherited it from my grandmother after she passed. Keep it very clean, as well maintained as we possibly can. Here we got a mid-2000s Camaro. I want to say 2002, 2003. I like the wheels on it. Not a bad car otherwise. Here's one you don't see too many of. A Chevy Caprice Coupe. I've only seen a few of these around. Another late 60s Chevy Chevelle. I like the color on this one. Another Chevelle. This is a classic paint scheme. Black racing stripes on red. Very beautiful. And here we got an old Studebaker. And right here we got a Jeep Comanche. This is the J20. This was actually a really nice sounding vehicle. I'm not sure if it was a 4-cylinder or if it was a straight 6, but either way it was a nice looking vehicle. Got another early 70s Challenger over here. Not a huge fan of the lime green, but didn't look half bad. Here, this one is a 71 Charger. I do love the bronze on this one. Another Challenger over here, more of a blue. I like this one. Not bad. I don't recall what this one was, but I want to say it was a 55. Again, I'm not familiar with this car, so I don't know. This one here, 77 Trans Am. I talked to the guy and he said he just drives it as is. He's not restoring it. He's not fixing it up. He says it still runs. It's still a fun car and he just drives it. But I guess sometimes that's the best way to do it. Just drive it because you can. And here we got a nice old Chevy Coupe. Did not catch the year on this one, but it is on airbag, so he was able to just set her right on down. And over here we got a couple of nice older Fords. This first one here is probably a 40s. I'm not 100% sure. And then over here we got a nice 30s one. And over here we got an early 50s Chevy Coupe. Very nice. Then we got a early 2000s Mustang. Not bad. And over here we got another custom Ford coupe. It looks like it might be an early to mid 30s. And over here we got a really nice looking Mustang with the Celine body kit. It's not an actual Celine, it is a GT, but it is very nicely done. And this one even has the 6-speed manual in it. Very nice. And over here we got a nice clean Challenger. Not a bad looking car. And we got some 1930s ones. The one on the left over there is a nice looking Chevy. Another nice looking Ford coupe. And then we've got a C4 Corvette here. Very clean. Another mid-80s Camaro. A couple of mid-80s Camaros. Not bad. And over here we got a really clean F-150. I like the color on this one too. Sharp looking truck. And then right next to that we got a nice clean Cobra. Not bad. Wasn't in perfect shape, but looks like he enjoys it. And then we got a BMW convertible over here. Clean. And over here we got a Nissan 370 GT. It's got Lambo doors on it. I'm not a fan of the Lambo doors, but overall it was a clean car. Another Challenger here, not bad. Early 80s Camaro. Fairly clean. We got a nice looking GMC pickup here. This one was really clean. Very nicely done. Then we got a nice looking C5 here, nice Corvette, drop top. This Mustang wasn't half bad. I wasn't a big fan of the color scheme, but overall it was clean. Then we got a nice little 65 Mustang over here. Not bad, very well taken care of. I don't know if those lights in the front were factory or not, but overall it was a nice looking car. Then over here looks like we have a mid-70s Plymouth Fury wagon. I did not catch the year on this one, but it was very clean. This one was interesting. This one here was a 1955 Sunliner. And the original color was the yellow that you see here. The guy decided he wanted to go with a yellow and black bee-themed paint job. It was very well done. Then over here we got a 50s Ford Ranchero. Very well kept. Don't know if it was a restoration or not, but it was very nice. And then here we got another 50s Buick. Very clean. I like the color on this one too. And then another Camaro 350 SS. Not a fan of the orange, but hey, it fit this car very nicely. Another Chevy Impala over here. I like the blue, but then again, blue is one of my favorite colors. Next up over here, we got a very nice 5.0 Mustang. I love the racing stripe on this one. This one here is a 1972 Buick Skylark. I've seen this one quite a few times actually now, and it's a very nice looking car. It's got the Krager wheels on it, big block engine, very sharp. And then right over here we got another Impala, a very nice car. I like the red stripe on it. It would really set it off because it matches the wheels. And then over here we got a 63 Buick Riviera. This car actually belongs to my cousin. Lots of custom work done on this one. Full air ride suspension, very clean. He often takes it to car shows in his area. Here we got a nice looking GT500, not a bad car. I'm not a huge fan of the GT500 convertibles, but it was a clean car overall. Right over here next to that, we got a Mini Cooper S, not a bad looking little car. Not a huge fan of the paint scheme, but overall, I think Mini Coopers are kind of cool. Always wanted one. Only problem is, I've heard that they're not the easiest on the maintenance, but I still kind of like them, to be honest. Now, I didn't catch the year on this one, but it is a very nice looking car. Mid-40s if I had to guess. I'm not 100% sure what it is. Then right next to that, we've got a 71 Duster, I believe. I didn't catch the year on this one, but I do know it is a Duster. In fact, I know the guy who owns this one as well. Another Challenger over here. This is actually a Red-Eye Hellcat. It's got the supercharged 6-liter V8 engine in it. Very nice car. You can see by the Hellcat logo on there. Again, my challenge with these cars is they didn't really offer a manual transmission. Then right next to it, got this little Volkswagen pickup. 74, I believe this one was. I've seen this one a few times. That's kind of an interesting little machine. Then we got another C5 Corvette over here. Nice convertible. Right next to that, we got another 70s Stingray. Very beautiful car. And here we have a Mercury Cougar. You don't see too many of these cars running around, but this one was really cool looking. Didn't catch what this one was, so somebody who knows, you can feel free to educate me. And then here we got an early 70s Mustang Mach 1, I believe that one was. This is actually one of my favorite generations of Mustangs, besides the newer ones. I just think they look really cool. And over here, I believe this was a Ford Torino. Not 100% sure, but it was the GT model of whatever it was. Sharp looking car. Had that same 70s green that a lot of those cars had. Not a fan of that color, but whatever. And then we got a nice looking Chevy pickup here. This one I believe was a mid-50s. And then right next to that we got another Nova SS. Not a bad looking car. And then here, this one was one of those vehicles, I'm not really sure why it was here. Just a basic F-150, but it was clean. Didn't catch what this one was. Not bad looking though. And then right next to that, we got another 2000s Mustang. I like the hood scoop on that one. Not bad. Another little Chevy station wagon over here. Now this one here, this was interesting. This was a Toyota Supra. This one looks like it was a work in progress. He was doing some interior work. As you can see, it's got the One Bride racing seat. I like the wheels on this one. Looked all original though. Very nice car. You don't see a lot of these running around. In fact, this is only the second one I've ever seen in person. Didn't catch the year on it, but it was the Supra. So I want to say it was the Mark III Supra. Missing some trim on the side, but it was still a work in progress. And then right next to that, we got a little Dodge Rampage. Again, didn't catch the year on this one. I want to say early 80s. And next to that, another Nova SS. There were actually quite a few Novas at this show. And then here we got a really nice looking Chevy pickup. Custom paint job. A lot of custom work done to it. Very sharp. And then here we got an early 80s El Camino. Not bad. And right next to that, we got another C8 Corvette. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of these. Right next to that, we got a nice little Mercedes. I've seen a few of these running around. These are actually really cool cars. Although, again, it's a Mercedes, so they're not cheap, but very sharp car. And then here we got a really sharp 1986 Monte Carlo SS. This one had an interesting paint job. You can see it's got a metal fleck in it, and it was also for sale. Kind of wish I would have been able to have the money. Nice looking car. And then over here, I've seen this one a couple times at other shows as well. Nice looking 46 Chevy. Got lots of work done to it. Very beautiful paint job on this one. I love the blue. Nice Kragers on it. And over here, another Camaro SS. Right next to, I believe this was a 71 Cuda. Nice car. Another Mustang over here. It's got the hood pins in it. Those always look kind of cool to me. Then over here we got a very clean Ford pickup. Did not catch the year on this one. Still nice and clean. Right next to that, more Mopar. This one here was a Plymouth Roadrunner. Didn't catch the year on this one, but it was a very nice car. And over here we got another Charger. Again, I have seen this one before, but to be honest, I can't recall what year it is. Interesting body style on this particular version of Charger. And over here we got another Ford Mustang. This one, again, didn't catch the year. I think that was that generation where they didn't make a whole lot of them. Then we got an Oldsmobile here. This one, I believe, was a mid-80s. And then right over here we got an El Camino. Nice deep forest green on this one. Sharp car. Another Plymouth over here, convertible. Again, didn't catch the year. Some of these didn't have the ID tags in the window, so it kind of made it hard to figure out what it was. Another mid-2000s Mustang. Right next to it, a later 2000s Mustang. I do like the black and the silver stripes on it more than just a plain color. Another Mustang over there next to that. And then on the end over here, we've got an early to mid-70s Camaro Z28. Not a bad looking car. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I had lots of cool cars and some that you may not like, but either way, it was a good day. So thanks for checking out the video, and we'll catch you at the next one.